Hello, Shogi Harbour here. Welcome to our another Tips for Beginners. Today we're gonna talk about your first Shogi castle. I plan to divide this video into two. One, we're gonna talk about piece connections and the general idea, and in the next video we're gonna divide the castles by the strategies. So let's start. As you guys know, we established in the previous video that Shogi has this amazing trick of dropping the pieces, which means if we leave space for the enemy, they will be able to immediately drop offensive pieces in front of our king. This is why it's important to put our king in a safe position. We also talked that our rook has to be on the other side than our king. So this is one example of a castle. Yeah, our king is hidden, surrounded by our pawns. He has two defenders, which is a knight and a lance over here, and two generals to support him. Perhaps this third gold will come in. So to define a castle, that's gonna be this specific type of structure, like here. Usually that will contain 3 generals. Sometimes we have weaker castle, which will have 2 generals, like here. And sometimes we can over-defend and use 4 generals, but notice that we miss that offensive general. We will have all the generals in defense, yeah? What exactly makes castle strong? First, before we show you different shapes, I would like to talk about generals themselves, about their characteristics, yeah? Silver can move diagonally and forward, and it's relatively weak on the sides and behind. That makes him a good offensive piece that can jump between the pawns and attack. Ultimately, it can also promote to a gold. While on the other hand, gold general is very strong on the sides, in front, maybe a little bit weak on the back. So it makes him a better defender piece as long as you keep him kind of low on the board, yeah, to deny those 2 weak points over here. Gold also moves to 1 more square than the silver, so yeah, consider both of the golds your defensive pieces. Now let's talk about the piece connections. Because of those different ways those generals moves, if you have, let's say, 2 of those, yeah? If there's 2 golds stuck onto each other like those, it means they protect each other. If they are next to each other, it also means they're protecting each other. But notice that if they are diagonally from each other, only one of them protects the other. The top one actually won't be protecting the bottom one, yeah? The exact opposite thing will happen for silvers. When they're in front of each other, only one will protect the other. When they're next to each other, actually none of them protects each other. And diagonally, they're quite strong. So why are we talking about it? It's just that the most important characteristic of the castle is that you don't leave piece hanging. At least one piece has to protect another at the same time. We're now gonna look at the combination of silver and gold. Here also we have one piece protecting the other, potentially good shape. This one also potentially good. This one also. This one is even better because both of the pieces protect each other. Very, very strong shape. And this one also. Notice that the gold is higher, which makes it a little bit weaker perhaps. And this shape could evolve into shapes like this, when the king protects both pieces in a castle. So I don't want you to overthink this. I just want you to notice like where each general weakness is and how they can complement each other. Now let's talk about the actual shapes for the castle. Why is that connection important? Well, if the gold would be here alone, the rook would be attacking the gold directly. The gold would be hanging, yeah? But now that they're connected, they're stronger, and the enemy will need at least, yeah, 1 more piece to destroy the shape. Now, those are examples of castles just floating in the space, but yeah, it's a little bit complex, but let me tell you that each castle will have certain characteristics. You might think of it as a Pokemon card or something. Each castle will have its own strength, weakness, it will have its power, it will have its cost, and it will have a certain influence over the position over the board. So each castle will have different of those characteristics, yeah? I will talk more about those castle names in the next videos when they have more practical applicants in the actual game. Those shapes floating in the air like this might be a little bit confusing. So if we start at the bottom here, You can see we have this good shape. This characterizes the castle. All the pieces protect each other. You can see the castle's influence by kind of drawing the lines where the generals go, yeah? We can see that most of the generals are concentrated over here. This castle is different. All the generals are looking upward. And it will have a weakness, yeah? Over here, this castle, for example, will also be very, very strong in the front. But again, if someone were to attack from this side, it's gonna be weak. This castle doesn't have much weakness, yeah? There is no way to expose the king immediately if we consider this end of the board, yeah? The bad point of this castle will be that it's very concentrated in one spot and the king won't have an option to run away. Once this castle dies, it dies. And this castle is the exact opposite. It's not even a castle, if you notice. This gold is not connected to those two. It's perhaps two general castle. This structure concentrates more on the balance aspect, on the board control. This is a shape used in bishop exchange openings, where it is important to not allow enemy to drop the bishop behind your pawns in your promotion zone. The solidness aspect is really hard to explain at a glance. We were gonna talk about this on another lesson with the actual board position, but just for your knowledge, this castle is called Anaguma, bearing Hor, and this is gonna be the most solid of them all. But the cost of creating this castle will be very high. So I'm gonna prove it to you. This is the starting position. We're gonna start by making the Mino castle, which was the castle on the bottom. Gote is doing some random moves. And we finish our castle here. Perhaps we still should push the edge pawn. That took us 11 moves. Very, very quick castle. Now let's look at the other variation, where we go for the Anaguma. We put the king in the corner. And let's say we also put this gold here, which is a little bit overplay perhaps. But this move, yeah, up to here, it takes 21 moves. So you see, 10 moves difference. It means in the meantime the enemy could have attacked you. A very, very costly castle. Now we have, of course, the ultimate question. If we know all the castle weaknesses and all the castle strengths, we have our own playstyle. We want to go aggressive or more defensive. Which castle do we exactly choose? That's what we call a strategy, and that's what we will cover in the next video. I will see you there.